Hey, look at me with the new set. Let me upgrade ya. The lighting is popping down here.
Hey y'all, I'm Kimberlyn, and this is the Frolicking Truth, a soft space for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal. Here, joy meets justice. We calm our Black ass nervous systems, we unmask, and we leave behind whatever that is trying to kill us. You're seen here, you're safe here, and you don't have to do this alone.
If you are watching live right now, we are in the live chat. So this premieres on Saturdays at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're in the live chat. So come and click where it says live chat and come down into the chat with us. And you can ask questions. I'm in there. Other people from the community are there. So come on into the live chat, baby. And chat, y'all go ahead and drop some sunflowers in the chat, okay? Because, yeah. Hey y'all, come on in, find a comfortable spot and take a seat. I am grateful to have you here with me today for episode 35 of the Frolicking Truth podcast for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal, where joy meets justice and our nervous systems get free. It is okay if you don't identify with any of those descriptors. It just means that when you come ready to listen, ready to learn, and ready to support. My name is Kimberland, and I often just be throwing y'all in here in the middle of a conversation because I be hanging out with the inner circle during this recording. So they are here with me and chiming in the chat. So we're usually having some type of conversation before I'm like, all right, enough of that. Let's get started. So sometimes I give you all insight into what those conversations are because we want you to come and hang out with us. All right. So the inner circle is my special area of the archive. And the archive is our Patreon. That is where the Mind in My Black Ass Business universe lives. And that is where we are fostering deep community, sharing resources, sharing different types of videos and things to get us activated. We have all sorts of different collections that are there in the archive, such as the Sunflower Path or the Change Corridor or my special area, the Inner Circle. And then we have various podcasts that live here in the Mind of My Black Ass Business universe. You can see all of that in the archive. All right. So come on and be a keeper with us in the archive. You decide what you're going to keep. You might want to keep recipes or keep music or keep culture alive, child, or keep history, girl, because they're deleting it every day. You understand? So yeah, go to patreon.com/mind of my black ass business, and that is how you are able to connect. Speaking of mind of my black ass business, I have the OG mind of my black ass business cropped hoodie on, and I put this on this morning. So this came about. I didn't start mind of my black ass business until 2021. But in that time, this is the same hoodie that I've had from the very beginning. And if you go back and look at pictures of me back then, I looked a lot different. I had a lot more mass about me. So it's funny to like still have this with me because I've had to like crop it off more and now it's just like super, super oversized and all of that because I have left the US, and shout out to capitalism, I have been able to actually not live in a toxic environment every single day, every single day, every single day. Amen. So, anyway, just wanted to share that. Now, my feet are falling asleep right now. All right. So, I'm going to have to do some adjusting, and y'all just adjust with me. But the one thing I want to say, y'all see my new background? Y'all see me down here in the studio. Let's get into let's get into the Auntie check-in, y'all. So the Auntie check-in is the segment where I talk about what is happening in my life and in my world. And one of the things that has been happening in my world is I have been desperately, I don't want to say desperately, let me use a different word. You know what word I'm going to use? My word for 2026. I'm going to use the word intentional. I have been intentionally setting up my space to help me bring the projects that I have in my brain to life. And one of the biggest things was setting up my workspace. So I had been working upstairs and it's cool, it's comfortable, but it was never really the intention. It kind of just was because there were a lot of other factors that were going on. See Fridgegate. I just finished updating the Patreon on that. But yeah, so there were a whole lot of other things that were standing in the way of me actually setting up my workspace. And y'all know I was sick over the holidays. So now that I'm a person again, and now that I'm able to see and function, I was like, let me get my workspace together. Now, I will say, y'all don't never know what the behind the scenes be looking like, child. One of the comments said, that's because you over there folded up. I am. And I never realized how much I be folded up until somebody pointed it out and was like, you really be sitting over there just crisscross the applesauce. I really do. I'd be crisscross the applesauce, just like this or like so anyway, my workspace is pretty, how do I want to call it right now, innovative right now. Okay, but I'm liking it. The lighting is really popping down here. It's right next to the nice light source, and I'm feeling it. I'm feeling the natural light vibes. It's feeling like hello, good morning. That's a Diddy song. I don't want to sing that. It's feeling like good morning. Good morning. That's a PJ Morton song. That brings better vibes. So, yeah, so that is one of the biggest things that I have been doing because I really have to establish my routines. I really have to make sure. I don't know if I shared it last week. Also, y'all, I'm an auntie. I'm about to be 45, y'all, and I don't be remembering stuff. Okay. So if I say stuff again, just act like it's the first time. Thanks. Appreciate it. So anyway, I don't know if I mentioned this in one of the last episodes, but I really I have decided that for this year I have to really be intentional about taking my medicine. I did talk about this because we talked about plant-based medicine last time. Um I really have to be intentional about taking my medicine. It's almost like I was talking to one of my friends the other day, and I was like, it feels like I am tagging God in for the day. And that is important because it feels like at night, like I be having to hold it. I know I don't, but it just be feeling like at night, like it's all right, you gotta go to sleep. But then when I wake up, it's like I need to tag God in, like it's your turn. All right, what we doing today? And the gateway to that happening is making sure that I take my medicine. So when I do take my medicine, it's like the lights come on in my brain, and then everybody's like, "All right, we're ready for the day." It really is wild, and it really does feel like severance, but it is what it is. And instead of judging myself about it, I just have chosen to accept that is the steps that I need in order to get my day started. So, along with that, now once I wake up and I get ready, now I come downstairs. So it's like I'm going to the office and I need that transition. I need to like actually have to physically do the things. So it's really been helping so far. And I have my tea over here, and I've got my water. Okay. Now, usually are y'all like multiple drink type people? Because ideally I would have tea, water, and a smoothie. So I would have three things that I'm drinking. Do y'all do that too? Tell me in the comments. I feel like that's a neurodivergent thing, but I don't know what brand of neurodivergence do that. But I feel like that's a thing. But anyway, I have like my whole little setup, and It's very humble, despite not humble beginnings, but it's also very functional and feasible because y'all see me popping, girl. So yes, so that is the biggest thing that I have been working on. Y'all also see Raina. So Raina got washed yesterday, and so you see the curls are popping. You know, whenever my hair is like growing, it means it's time to wash it because it's getting dry and it's also probably getting tangled. So it was time to get that together. So, you know, Raina got a refresh or whatever. So, you know, she's doing what she's doing and just hanging out and being cute or whatever. So I am excited for that in her. I was tempted to cut Raina this week. I didn't clearly, but I definitely was tempted to do that because seriously, to what end are we are we going to with this hair thing? Like to what end? To what end? I look at people like I don't know if y'all follow creators like Chase and Mello, but like Mello has so much hair like all down her back. I don't know that that is my goal. Or like Jayla Brene, like their curly hair is so beautiful and also oh my God, it's so much hair. And so for me, one. I'm like, how much hair products do I have to use? That's literally probably like the main thing. But then second is just like, girl, Raina, girl, what is how long we doing this, girl? What's your goal? You know? So we shall see. We shall see. Stay tuned or whatever. I would like to get a professional haircut soon, but I really have to do research, especially here in Medellin. Now, mind you, there are black people here in Medellin, but Medellin is mainly like white though like there are black areas. Anyway, focus. So that's the Raina update. All right. And you say she got a little movement over. Okay, enough. Now, let's get into some updates. So, let's do our subscriber update. I realized last week I didn't actually share the numbers since we've been back. This is season 2, 2026, right? So, we're still keeping the party going. And again, with intentionality, we only want people here that are intentionally wanting to be here. Okay. So, we are team quality over quantity. So, we currently have 1,577 quality subscribers who are hanging out with us here in the Mind of My Black Ass Business universe. So shout out to all of you. Welcome to our new subscribers. This is the Frolicking Truth. This is only one of the podcasts and shows that we have here on the Mind of My Black Ass Business Network. And this just so happens to be mine, Kimberlyn, the founder. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Excited to have you. I'm not going to sing you a song or make you stand up or anything like that, but I would love for you to at least leave us a comment and say hi. You can also include in that and say I'm a new subscriber or what have you, but please do go ahead and leave us a comment and say hi so that we are able to welcome you. We will also love to get you connected to the Patreon. Again, the Patreon is called the Archive, and there is a free version of the Patreon. So I want y'all to know and understand that Kimberlyn Jackson is trying to get up off of social media. You understand? Listen, I am doing my best to figure out the systems to be able to continue to put out the information, but I'm going to be in the Patreon, y'all. That's where I am updating things and people, and like that's going to be my personal social media within the archive, which is the greater social media. Because this is the thing, I want y'all to know that social media is compromised right about now. And I don't know at what level of understanding that, you know, you might be understanding that, but the people that own every social media outlet and every media outlet in the US are highly propagating those platforms. So, for me, someone who is an activist and someone who is very vocal about what the hell is going on in this world is not really the safest place to be all the time. So a lot of those conversations are having to shift into the archive because those are people that are actually signing up and saying, girl, yes, we need to talk about the things. I need to know the things. And not just the world is crumbling things either. Things about healing and things about frolicking and like all of that that is relevant. So anyway, I said all that to say, child, my relationship with social media right now is it's a situation ship. Okay, it's a situation ship. So I'm gonna be in the Patreon. So come over. You again, there's a free option. You can join for free and you'll still get notifications when I put out things. Some things might be locked, but you'll still get those notifications. And then when you are willing, please go ahead and upgrade for $5 a month. That supports everything that we do here in this universe, including the Frolicking Truth. We also have the podcast So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese. That is my podcast with my cousin Kalanda. And then we have a new podcast that is premiering very soon called From Auntie with Love. So I'm going to go ahead and drop a commercial here for that.
I don't know if y'all can tell enough, but we're excited.
Hey, y'all. Welcome to From Auntie with Love, a sisterverse of Black women reimagining life together.
They told me to put a pinch of brown sugar.
Who is they?
Who is they?
She's like a cookout.
I'm trying to think back.
Right?
You want to like go to a lounge? 4 aunties in different seasons of life with stories to tell, thoughts to spill, wisdom to drop, and side eyes to give.
That's how we'll have a mindful moment, a mindful booty moment.
Okay.
I'll lead us through a mindful booty moment.
One of my newfound commandments is that I will hold space for change and forgiveness.
Do not show up to anywhere that I do not know that you are coming, especially my house.
You're going to find me with a drink high in the air in one hand and my body low.
Yeah. Let's get into the conversations that don't usually make it to the table, but they should. With love. Always. So, baby, let me tell you, we did a behind the scenes the other day with the aunties, and it was a time. It was a time. I cannot wait till these episodes drop. We are a good time. It is funny. You talk about laughing and hilarity, and we don't always be agreeing on the things. So it's just so interesting to see so many different perspectives and to be able to have these conversations. Because, child, we trying to help the nieces, the nephews too, child, but definitely the nieces. Okay, we trying to listen, y'all tap in. All right. Speaking of that, I need to share a comment that I got the other day before we get into I still have a couple more announcements. So wait, hold on. But let me share this comment that I just got the other day. And this is from somebody that I actually knew in 2016. We actually went to church together. Now, I'm not going to reveal who the person is, their name or whatever, because, baby, the block is hot down there to that church. Okay? That's a lot of what we're going to talk about today. Okay? But anyway, let me share what they said. So I had just recently, again, on So You Don't Put Syrup on Your Grilled Cheese, we had a Ask an Auntie submission about a man named Snacks. All right. Now, you're going to have to go back. I'm going to put a little snippet in here so that you can see what we was talking about. But you're going to have to go back and watch what we said and, you know, the whole situation and all of that. But I'm going to put the letter in here from Snacks.
Yes.
So our next submission is called Big Talk Empty Pantry.
Okay.
Hi, aunties. I'm 24, Black, Caribbean, college educated, master's degree secured, and freshly employed in my first real big girl job. Period.
It is.
Direct deposit is depositing. Life is lifing, and yet here I am. Girl, I don't date often, girl. Here we go, y'all. Buckle up. See what I'm talking about? These men folk. I don't date often, but I took an interest in a man. We're going to call him Snacks because that name feels prophetic right now. We work for the same company, different states, different office sites. He comes into town for work, and optimistic, soft, believing in love, let him stay at my place. From the moment I met him, Snacks was talking. Big talk, big promises. I'll fly you out. You should come visit me. I got you. Bragging like a man, auditioning for Provider the Musical. Now tell me why this man came into my house and ate every single one of my snacks. Aunties, not regular snacks, not, oh, I'll grab more later snacks. These were imported snacks from my home country, limited edition, emotionally significant. Snacks you ration because you don't know when you will see them again. Snacks that taste like home. So then I made a follow-up video because after the show, I wound up on the phone with a man trying to play devil's advocate for snacks. And I was, first of all, not really understanding why you spend so much energy trying to play devil's advocate because he felt like we were harsh in our advice to our good Caribbean niece that had messaged us, that had put the asking on tea. So now we on the phone and he's trying to tell me about all the reasons why Snacks model wasn't wrong. So then I just had to boil down to, sir, do you agree with this man? Or like, what is we doing right here? Right? Because this is the other thing. I'm not a like to argue type of person. Some people like to argue, like they do that for fun. Now, I love a discussion, and in discussion, sometimes there may be a disagreement or difference of opinion, and then you kind of talk through that or just agree to disagree, depending on what it is. But like intentionally going into situations to play devil's advocate, I don't do that. Like, why are you wanting to do that? I don't understand. So I was already confusion about that, of like, why are we spending so much energy trying to play devil's advocate about something that is clearly out of pocket? I don't get it. So then I was like, what would you say to this young man as a man? What would you say to this young man to advise him? And then he was like, I would tell him that he moving wrong. So there was a whole, because what does that even mean? You moving wrong. So I said, what does that mean? Moving wrong how? He moving wrong. So you repeating what you just said did not give further clarity to what you said. So what does that mean that he's moving wrong? So then he goes through this whole thing of basically telling me that if he said that to a man, that a man would know what he meant. Now, I decided to put it out to the internet because in my world, if someone is moving wrong, they clearly don't know the right way to move. So why would you not just explicitly tell them the right way to move instead of talking in a riddle? But also, I don't speak man, and I don't be down there in that maniverse like that. Okay. But I wanted to try to understand. Okay. So anyway, this person, this man that sent me this message was giving me further insight. So this man that is messaging me, he is probably in his late 40s, as well. He has a daughter in her early 20s. Okay. So that's the context. Let me grab this this comment in the chat before I read this. The comment says, "This is exactly why I try to stay out of men's business because what?" And this is the thing. Obviously, I try to stay out of men's business, but when your business starts to impact us, get your shit together. And I mean that from my toes. Because as women, we are very, I know this is a generalized statement. Women are more likely to do the introspective work and to have deeper relationships with people than men. And men hide behind, in my humble opinion, they hide behind a lot of ineffective communication that is not clear. And that also causes them not to hold each other accountable. Because what the hell are you even holding somebody accountable to if all you can say to them is you moving wrong and there's no fucking context? Men make a lot of assumptions, in my opinion, instead of getting clear on the facts and understanding. And so now, because of that, you bringing your toxic ass into our spaces. And that's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I go down there and say what I got to say sometimes, and then I very quickly get the hell up out of there because it's a toxic ass place to be. But anyway, so let's get back to this comment. Okay, here we go. He said, Kimberland, I really love your content and how unapologetically Black and beautiful, comfortable in my own skin that it gives. As a father of a 20-something-year-old, your content, I feel, is something she needs to see. And not just her, but all Black princesses like her. And I really appreciated that because that is why I do what I do. Right. I said that, we be talking to the nieces. This is a place for Black women who are tired, brilliant, and ready to heal. Right. Also, you're also welcome if you don't identify that way, as long as you come in ready to listen, ready to learn, and ready to support, not coming to play devil's advocate. Because this is the thing. I wrote down some notes of what it could have sounded like. Okay. It could have sounded like, let me listen so I won't be that man. It could have sounded like, that is a really interesting perspective. I've never thought about that before, or I've never thought about it through that lens before. But the whole is not all men and playing devil's advocate, I can't. That tells me that you are not accountable. That tells me that you are very disconnected from the impact of your actions on other people, and therefore you are not a safe person. Not for me. You might be for somebody else, but not for me and anybody connected to me, right? So anyway, I really appreciated that comment because I try my best to help young women find the words and the agency to not have to put up with the type of shit that we had to put up with, and definitely not the type of shit that our grandmothers had to put up with. Okay. We generation cycle breakers over here. We are team boundaries and effective communication over here. Okay. So y'all better try to pick up these nuggets instead of trying to play devil's advocate and find a reason for why trifling behavior is okay. Okay. And hold your men people accountable. All right. Done with that. But also, I love men. I love men. This is how I know that sexuality is not a choice. Because if I were sexually attracted to women, there is no possible way I'd be over here in this maniverse. I'm telling you, not. Not with the type of women that's walking around looking like the way they walking around. Baby, do y'all see how these women be walking around here? Just fine and gorgeous and beautiful and smelling like cocoa butter and hibiscus and baby. This is how I know that sexuality is not a choice. But also, women can also recognize other women's beauty. That's something else that men can't do. They can't acknowledge that a man is handsome. But let me get out of the man's business. All right, so let me see what else I have going on here. Oh, so the Patreon has increased to 61 members. Okay. So people are coming over into the Patreon and finding the Patreon. And one of the things that I found out in this situation is that the Patreon and people, I guess, in general, and definitely men, like yoga for different reasons, I'm sure. So I had uploaded a video to Patreon and I was like, when is the last time that you stretched? Why somebody was trying to shoot their shot in the comments talking about, what do you say? I don't mind having a workout partner. So, hey, relax. Okay, relax. It's literally just yoga. But come to find out, their brains go elsewhere. But that's just one of the things that you're able to access within the archive is stuff like the Healing Circle. So while the Healing Circle is not open to men, it is only open to Black women. Okay. The Healing Circle is a space where we actually do yoga. And one of the things that I have said to myself is I want to be intentional in getting my flexibility back. Y'all, I was a dancer. Okay, I was a dancer. I danced in high school. I danced in college. In college, I was co-captain of the dance team. Um, and there have been a series of injuries along the way. Like I hurt my knee at one point, I pulled a muscle at another point, and like all of that. But like my flexibility is trash these days. So I really said I want to be more intentional in stretching. And one of the reasons why I recorded is because we don't be stretching our muscles, man. We do not be stretching. And we need to do that. That is a part of our health and our balance and like all of that. So, because I haven't been stretching, I feel like the differences in my ankles are like, our arthritis be sneaking in and such. So, anyway, I've been being more intentional about that. And I have been recording it for accountability, but also as an invitation for people to come. So I do want to give you a official invitation if you are a Black woman to come and join us in the Healing Circle. The Healing Circle is a space for us to hang out in community as Black women and really just honor each other and not feel like we have to over explain stuff. People come with various things that they're healing. Some people are healing from relationships or healing their bodies or healing their relationship with themselves. Like there are so many different things that women come wanting to heal. But the point is, we're holding collective space for each other. It's 11:11. Make a wish. And it shall be so. But anyway, the Healing Circle is a space where men are not, so we can do our yoga freely. It happens the second Saturday of every month. So we also take time during every Healing Circle to have some type of discussion topic. So for January, we talked about morning routines and the importance of morning routines and how to hold ourselves accountable. In February, we're going to talk about self love. So, we'll be talking about the different things that we do to figure out how to love ourselves so we don't allow people into our spaces that don't love us better than us. Right? Because that's what happens is that we don't know how to love ourselves. So then we allow dysfunctional and toxic love into our space, not realizing that I would never even treat myself like this. So we have to repair our relationship with ourselves so that we are able to truly understand how to love ourselves the way that God loves us. Then no trash individual will be able to come in and love us any differently. So that's one of the things that we're going to talk about on our next healing circle. So the next healing circle is on Saturday, February 14th at 10:30 Eastern. Okay. Now, usually the Frolicking Truth premieres at 11, but the Frolicking Truth is going to premiere at noon that day. All right. So we're going to have the Healing Circle at 10:30, and then we'll have the Frolicking Truth live premiere at noon. Now, this is the other thing y'all need to know. That's my birthday. I'm turning 45. Oh my God. I'm turning 45 on Saturday, February 14th, Valentine's Day. And I want y'all to come and join me. So if you are a Black woman, please register for the Healing Circle on February 14th. It's a gift to yourself. It's also a gift to me. You can register at tinyurl.com/Black Women Healing Circle. tinyurl.com/Black Women Healing Circle. And I would love for you to join me as a birthday present to me, for you, and from you to me, because I always get something out of sharing space with other women. So that's your official invitation to come and join me. Okay. One more thing is the Sisterhood Heals book study is going to be starting soon. So if you would like to get on that interest list, please go to tinyurl.com/sisterhood heals. Sisterhood Heals is the book that was written by Dr. Joy Harden Bradford, the founder of Therapy for Black Girls. There are interactive questions and discussion points and like so much to help us repair our relationship with each other as women, because there's also been a lot of toxicity that we have absorbed from the way that the world operates and how we view each other. So we really have to be able to see each other's spirit and each other's heart and repair that relationship with each other. So we're also going to be taking on that work really soon. So again, if you want to get on that interest list, go to tinyurl.com/sisterhood heals. All right. I think that's it with the announcements. All right. I've had enough. Okay, but it's a lot that be going on. So I've been needing to tell y'all. Okay, cool. So frolicking in the feed this week and the past couple weeks, they've been doing this 2016 challenge. And I had to like really go ask myself, what was I doing in 2016 and what was happening like in the world in 2016 and like how am I processing this? One thing I know that happened in 2016 is Trump got elected the first time. Okay. So I definitely was seeing writing on the walls because that started my kind of like, so y'all really doing this. Like this is wild, wild. And this country is not who this country presents itself to be, but it's a very different country. So that's one of the things that was happening in 2016 for me. We had already experienced Trayvon Martin and Tamir Rice and like all of that. So I was on my journey to wokeness. I was also very much in the church. Okay. So in 2016, I was at this church, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. I was preparing to become an actor and a model. So I was in my acting and modeling training with Actors, Models, and Talent for Christ. And I was figuring out what that meant and learning how to operate in these spaces. So I want to show y'all a couple pictures that were present from then. So one of the first things that you see is that, baby, I had that relaxer. You understand me? And I had a relaxer from the time that I was 10 up until the time I was 30. So almost 30 years, I had a relaxer. I was very much into fashion. Again, I was modeling at the time, and I really loved African print clothing. So this is one of my favorite pictures. I used to love those. They were like neon yellow heels. Oh, baby. I was picking it up and putting it down. I was a homeowner at the time, so this is in my house, and I had that house for 10 years. And so, I was out here doing the things. I had taken a photo shoot. One of my friends at the time gifted me on my birthday in 2016 with this photo shoot. You can again see here I have on the blue heels, baby. I used to have me some heels. You understand me? Okay, honey. And so, anyway, this photo shoot was one of the first photo shoots that I took, and I actually used a lot of the pictures from this photo shoot to start the first time that I published Discover Your Destiny. So I was in the process of writing Discover Your Destiny and refining what that journey looked like and all of that. This is one of my headshots from 2016 that I took when I was preparing for the showcase. So after my acting and modeling training, we went to this showcase called Shine. And at Shine, you had a lot of agencies and people from the industry that were there looking for new talent. And so this was one of my headshots that I had during that time. And you can see, baby, that bob was bobbing. Okay. Because one thing sis always had was hair. You see the smiles, the comments said, come on, smiles, baby, listen. I was eating it down. Okay. I was eating it down. So this is a behind the scenes picture from that photo shoot. The photo shoot was at Gaylord Palms in Orlando. And again, they had photographers, really good photographers from the industry to come out and to make sure everybody had their headshots set up and all of the things. So it was really, really, really a cool experience during that time. So Shine was it was like school, right? It was like acting and modeling school. And so, or AMTC, the program. was like acting and modeling school. So you had to pay for it. Now, granted, it was a pay what you pray. So I don't remember how much I had prayed about, but nonetheless, you had to pay for it. And one of the ways that I paid for it was by creating a t-shirt. So I created the Be Bold, Be You movement. And there are a few different t-shirts actually. And I honestly don't really talk about this was my first like t-shirt line, if you will. I don't really talk about it too often anymore. And it kind of lives on the site that I don't really visit anymore. But Be Bold, Be You came about because I really was just wanting to honor I think I told y'all about the audition that I had for AMTC, and I had auditioned with the chief serving officer. And one of the things that she said to me was, you like try to go into places and shrink, and you need to stop doing that, basically. So I was trying to really embody this boldness that I knew was inside of me. So I created the Be Bold, Be You movement. So there's Be Bold, Be Amazing, and Be Bold, Be Inspirational. So you can see both of those shirts here. And I did a campaign, and people all over the country that I was connected to bought the shirts to help me to raise money for my acting and modeling training. So some of them are pictured here. So that is what I was doing in 2016. I was also in the church. Okay. So I wasn't listening to secular music at this time. I was very much trying to be a better Christian and closer to God. And so I wasn't cursing. I wasn't listening to any secular music. I actually was a Sunday school teacher at the time, and I was teaching the young adults in church. And I was teaching the Sunday school teachers because, Sunday school teachers are not teachers. They're literally just people that's like they handed them something and now they sitting there reading. Like they're not actual teachers. And because I am not just an educator, I am someone who teaches teachers how to teach. That was my service to them. So I taught the Sunday school teachers, and at the same time, like I mentioned, I was also working on Discover Your Destiny. So I was compiling that into an actual book and an actual journey and process, and making it make sense, right? So I also was very much in tune with my spiritual gifts and getting in tune with my spiritual gifts. So I had learned by this time that I have a prophetic and apostolic calling, and I understood what that meant. And I'll just go ahead and say here for anyone who may be wondering, so a prophet is a heart revealer. That is someone who helps people understand God's voice, understand the heart of God, the true heart of God, not the God that they try to tell us is sitting up in heaven about to strike us down with lightning bolts, because that's not who God is. Not the God that everything is going to send you to hell if you wear lipstick or earrings or whatever other religious situation that happened. Not a God that's throwing lap cloths all over you as soon as you walk in a place. Not this God is not filled with judgment. Like that's not God. God. So I was understanding who God was, and therefore understood. I'm very much a prophet and somebody who helps other people to understand that. Prophets also share what is on God's heart, right? So sometimes prophets have great news that they need to share, and it's wonderful. And it's like, oh, you should start this business, or I see, this in your future, or whatever. And then also a lot of times prophets talk about the things that people don't want to talk about. So if you have been paying attention to Kimberly Jackson, that's me. Or the Frolicking Truth, or any space by social media, any space that I've been in, I've been ringing the alarm. Ring the alarm. I've been doing this too long. I'll be damned if I let y'all sit up here and think that the world is not crumbling when it is crumbling every single day, right? So I've been talking about this for a while, and oftentimes prophets are early with the things that they say, and therefore often exiled because people ain't trying to hear that shit. Okay, so I understood that. Apostles are people who go into spaces to establish. So apostles in the biblical days, their job was to go into new cities and communities, towns, whatever areas, and establish churches. So apostles have to know how to operate in all of the gifts. And just for the sake of being thorough, let me give you the five. So the five are apostle, prophet, evangelist, teacher, and pastor. Okay, so apostles have to know how to do all of that because they go into the church, make sure that the church is established, everything is operational. Y'all good, y'all great, y'all got y'all systems, everything we good, we ready for the people. Y'all good, y'all good. All right, and I'm out. And they move on to the next place. And so what I have been thinking, every 3 to 4 years, there was some kind of something that was happening that caused me to shift my grade level or shift my school or shift my position. I'm thinking something is wrong with me because at the time, mind you, the communication that we're getting from our elders was very much like you go to that job, you work that job for 20, 30 years, you retire, and now that's that, right? But that's not what life was looking like. So I'm like, damn, what the hell wrong with me? Why I can't stay nowhere or do whatever? And when I say stay nowhere or do whatever, I'm still in the same school district. A lot of the time I was at the same school, but there was some kind of something that was happening that was moving me out of a place where I was comfortable into another place. I'm thinking I'm defective. Meanwhile, God is like, girl, you wasn't never supposed to stay. You was just supposed to go do that, get them good to go, and then move on to the next thing. So as I was writing Discover Your Destiny and again going through the journey of Discover Your Destiny, I told y'all that came out of me trying to get out of that abusive relationship. I was understanding who I was, right? So I'm very aware in 2016 that these are my spiritual gifts, that God has clearly called me into entertainment, and this is what I'm supposed to be doing. All right. Now, I also told y'all I'm in this church. Okay. Now, this church has a woman pastor, which in the grand scheme of pastoring is rare for there to be a woman pastor. Now, I grew up full gospel Baptist. So Bishop Paul S. Morton was my pastor growing up, and then his wife, Deborah B. Morton, was the co-pastor. Okay, so I've seen women pastors, and in full gospel, there were women pastors. This church was supposedly a part of full gospel. So I'm not surprised to see a woman pastor. Also, side note, Paula White used to be my pastor too, child, before she went MAGA. I'm sure it was always there, but she was my pastor for a minute too, but I wasn't close to her, okay, because that was a mega church. But this church was a smaller church, right? Okay, so I meet the pastor. The pastor is educated and degreed and seemingly connected, and down to earth, and took like a special interest in me. So one of the things that I noticed with this pastor is that she was like trying to be my mama. And I have a mother. I don't have a relationship with my mother anymore because I've chosen to go non-contact because she needs help. She needs a lot of help. But I have a mother. I know where she is. I'm not looking for a mother. There was another lady at the time that was also at the church that I was friends with, that the pastor was like, that was her daughter. So they used to call each other mama and daughter and all that. That's on y'all. That lady also did not have a relationship with her birth mother or her adopted mother. So she technically never had a mother. Right. So they formed that relationship. So then the pastor trying to get me to also like be her other daughter. And that was just always weird to me because I'm not your daughter, especially when you are exhibiting behaviors that are toxic, right? Now, it took me a little bit to pick up on it, but what started happening was a whole lot of what they call triangulation. So triangulation is basically like being two-faced and like you telling this person this, and then that person is talking to this person about that person. And so the two of y'all talking about this one and the two of them talking about like this too much. I don't like this. Right. So I'm also in 2016 in therapy, and I'm talking to my therapist about like the dysfunctionality because I was also trying to get out of this abusive relationship. Right. And this man is the praise and worship leader at the church. Okay. And mind you, this is a redeeming quality of this pastor before I get to her. She is the pastor that said, y'all need to go to individual counseling. So she's the reason why I started going to counseling. And she was the one who said, y'all need to stop having sex. And that's when I started. I was celibate for 8 years. So during this time, I was celibate. as well. Trying to be a good Christian, trying to clean my system, trying to get free from all of this that I've been going through. And so I come to the understanding that the pastor is a big part of the issue, right? So God kind of gives me that revelation while I am in therapy, like figuring all of this out. So I'm doing the acting and modeling training or whatever, and I'm gonna like fast forward to tell you how this ends. Okay, so because it ended then in 2017. So I'm doing the acting modeling training, but I'm also at the church teaching Sunday school, teaching the Sunday school teachers. I am on the praise and worship team. I'm over social media, so I'm building out their social media department. I redesigned the church logo and marketing. So I'm doing all of this, right? Fast forward 2017. So the end of 2016, this might have happened in 2016, now that I think about it. This might have happened in 20. Okay. So January 2017, I have my Shine showcase. So that is where I stood in front of all of the people from the industry and did my presentations. I did a commercial. Are you dealing with damaged, frizzy hair, dry skin, or cracked lips this winter season? Or maybe you've run out of salad dressing, coffee creamer, or furniture polish. Either way, I've got the perfect solution for you: coconut oil. It's the creative answer to life's pesky problems. I did a modeling event. Kimberlyn Jackson, 5 feet, 3 inches. I'm a certified educator and life coach, and I recently wrote my first stage play. I did a few different like script reading things or all of that. Have you ever tried to get off the phone with someone who just doesn't get it? Every time you say, all right, I'll let you go, they just don't want to be let go. So I came up with a plan. Say something really interesting. Girl, did I tell you? And then you just go silent. They think your phone died. Works like a charm every time.
What's this cookie doing on my desk? Take it away.
Okay, you're looking right at the person you're talking to and reading what's going on in their face, and you really like what you see going on their face.
What's this cookie doing on my desk? Take it away.
Out of Shine, I got an agent. I left Shine with an agent, so I was signed to an agent. Also, side note, for anybody who is wondering about acting and or modeling, and you're wondering if you need an agent, the answer is no. Agents are only as good as the projects that they receive. And that's only as good as their network. So what happened with me, I'm living in Tampa at the time. This was very much like a Miami market. So they're not looking for people who look like me. They're looking for Hispanic, maybe curly hair, but usually Hispanic, white presenting, big booty. Like that's the image that they're trying to promote. They weren't really looking for people who look like me. Whereas a market like Atlanta, for instance, would have definitely been looking for people like me. So a lot of the work that I did in both acting and modeling, I found on my own, independent from my agent. I did get some things through the agent, but it wasn't a lot. So that's just a side note for you to know. All right. So anyway, so I do Shine. It's really great. I get my agent. Now I'm in the industry. Now I'm doing things, right? Somewhere around this time, I feel like it had to be late 2016. I took the pastor out to dinner because I wanted to let her know that God had told me that I'm about to move into entertainment. I didn't really know what that meant at the time. I just knew that that's what God had told me. So I take her out to dinner and I'm like, hey, I've been doing my acting and modeling training and my showcase is coming up and I'm really excited about that. I also wanted to let you know that I'm going to soon be leaving the church because God is sending me into the industry and I have no idea where that's going to lead, but I'm really excited. And that lady said to me, God don't want you in the wilderness. And I was so confused. Because who finna be in the wilderness, sis? I know God. What are you talking about right now? So she's like, God don't want you in the wilderness. As if to say that I don't talk to God. Like as if to say that God needed to tell her to tell me. Like I don't have God on the hotline. Like I have the main line. Girl, what is you talking about right now? I don't really remember what I said to her during that time, besides, I know God. So I don't know what you're talking about. I remember I said that. But I don't really remember what else I said to her specifically. What I do know I said to myself is, okay, God, I see you. Because God had told me to take her out to dinner and tell her this, but God did not tell me what her response was going to be. Child, let me fast forward and let you know that lady. So I wound up leaving the church. I wound up leaving the church in like April of 2017. So the last thing that I did at the church was an Easter play. I wrote and produced and directed this Easter play with the other lady that I was telling you about that was the pastor's daughter. Um, and I did the Easter play, and after it was a smash hit. It was an absolute success. And after that, that was the last time I stepped foot in that church. After that, I wrote a certified letter to the pastor, and then I also sent a copy to a few other people that were at the church and let them know that I was leaving. I did not directly cite what the pastor has said, but what I said was, I hope that if we cross paths in the future, that it will be as friends and not as enemies. That's what I said. Okay. So I sent the certified letter to the church. I forwarded it to a few people because I wanted them to see what happened. Y'all know that lady lied about why I left that church? That lady went and told them people, because I told you I'm in the choir, I'm on the praise team. I'm a Sunday school teacher. I'm teaching Sunday school teachers. I'm over the social media ministry. And mind you, I gave them all of their stuff. Here's your passwords. Here's your this. Here's your lesson plans. All of the stuff that I was doing for free that, mind you, I charge hundreds and hundreds of dollars for. I was doing for free. Praise the Lord. I gave them all of that stuff. And I was like, I wish y'all the best and God bless y'all. I'm moving on. Right? That pastor went and told them people at choir rehearsal that I left because I didn't want nobody telling me what to do. Girl, what the hell is you talking about? What are you talking about? After that, in July of 2017, I'm a part of Full Gospel, right? So I go home. At the time, I'm speaking to my mother. We on the outs, but I'm speaking to her. So I go home and we have a Full Gospel conference. The pastor, so the lady that was my friend, that was the pastor's daughter, she is my friend, right? So she comes home with me to go to the conference. And so the pastor winds up coming to the conference. Now, me and the ladies together. So the pastor winds up coming to the conference. She want to see her daughter. So she tried to find her daughter, don't realize that her daughter is with me. That pastor walked past me and couldn't even look me in my eyes with her lying tongue, knowing she had went up to that church and lied to them people about why I left. So why did I tell that? Because we have to be very, very careful about understanding that religion is a system of control, not God, not spirituality and being connected to God, but religion. Anytime somebody is telling you that they have better intel on what God wants you to do than what you have intel on what to do is a red flag. Anytime somebody is speaking from an authoritative standpoint about what you are supposed to do in regards to God, like they the final say, that's a problem because God is the final say. And you have the ability to have a direct connection to God. You do not have to go through a person to be able to get to God. As a matter of fact, in the Bible, when it talks about when Jesus died, one of the things that happened when Jesus was crucified and died is that the veil was torn. The veil was the separation between the regular everyday people and the holiest of holies, where only certain people could access the power of God. When Jesus came and died on the cross, that veil was torn so that we are able to go directly to God. When the Holy Spirit was left inside of us, that was so that we have a direct connection to God. So if we don't know any better, we wind up in situations where people have agendas about how they are exerting their connection to God over you. And it is very dangerous, honestly, because the amount of time that I spent in therapy trying to untangle that manipulative and toxic situation that was wrapped in this box of, oh, I love God so much, and you're going to be my spiritual daughter. So I need us to have discernment when we are walking into spaces that have to do with God. Because one, a lot of us have received this God that has been placed in a box that is not the fullness and bigness of who God is. A lot of us have received faulty understanding and programming about God's characteristics and the way that God shows up. And we're looking at God through this human lens. And because maybe we haven't had good relationships with our mothers or our fathers or our family members, we think of God in that same flawed context, and that's not who God is. That's not who God is at all. And God just be sitting there waiting to talk to us. God just be like, I'm here when you're ready. And that might be through sending a butterfly to cross your path, or there's a bird that's outside singing a song, or you notice that there's a certain card that continues to come up, or you're seeing numbers like 1111 that come up. All of those are messages from God where God is just like, hey, I'm just trying to get your attention. Don't want to intrude because free will and all. But also, I love you and I want to talk to you, and I have so many plans for you. Would you like to talk about them? But when we are disconnected from God in that way, and we're looking at things through the system of religion, which again was only created to control, especially us as Black people, because something else that the world is very the church world is very intentional about is demonizing our cultural practices that kept our ancestors close to God. So then we think we got to go through this pastor, go through this system to be able to access God. We've always had God with us, especially as children of the diaspora. We have always had God with us. How do you think we're still here? Our ancestors fought for us to still be here in the present. We have always had God with us. It's just a matter of tapping in and nudging that spirit away. So I didn't mean for this to sound like a big old commercial for Discover Your Destiny, but also that is what Discover Your Destiny does. The whole point of it is for you to understand how God designed you so that you are able to see yourself through God's eyes and really reconnect your spirit to God so that you can move through the world understanding your purpose, walking boldly, knowing with full certainty what you are on this earth to do. The reason that my t-shirt line was be bold, be amazing, or be inspirational, be fearless, be regal. That was another one that I had. The reason why it was all about being bold is because it takes a bold person to say, I'm breaking out of this system and I want to go see God for myself. And one thing I'm gonna tell you about God, God said, baby, if you try me, I will show you. All you got to do is ask. The Bible is filled with people who was asking God questions. I was talking to Shekinah the other day and she was like, I'm reading about Job. And I'm like, girl, because I feel like Job. Oh my God. Where is the restoration part, Jesus? You know? But there are people in the Bible all over who are asking God questions and challenging God and saying, I don't understand this. And what we would call bitching and moaning and complaining. Like that is happening all in the Bible, right? So when we have people that are telling us don't ask questions or just be happy or just, that's not of God. God never said that. God didn't say that. God did not say that. Okay. So I just want us to have some perspective. All right. And over the past 10 years, since 2016, that is the perspective that I have deepened to my core and foundation. Can't nobody tell me I'm in the wilderness. Child, I'm not in the wilderness. I am on a different energetic plane though, because the way that God shows up in my life and the way that I have seen God keep me safe through multiple countries. Y'all, I should have been dead. You understand me? Been. But I'm very clear that there's a purpose over my life. There's a reason why I'm here. There's a reason why I'm telling these things to you. There's a reason why I'm talking about all of this. All of this is within purpose. Okay. And I just want you to have that too. I just want you to have that too. I want us to be able to have the power to really be able to walk in our boldness and walk in our spiritual gifts and really understand who we are.
What if the thing you've always called too much was the exact thing God designed on purpose? This is for the ones who've always known they were different. Too sensitive, too loud, too knowing, too intuitive, too woo-woo. But what if your sensitivity is actually your superpower? What if your intuition was your inheritance? Discover Your Destiny is a 10-week sacred journey back to yourself. We explore the design of your soul, your spiritual gifts, and the unique way that God speaks to you. This isn't church. It's not a rule book. It's not a performance. It's the moment you stop chasing approval and start walking in divine alignment. You'll gain clarity, language, and confidence around who you are and what you are here on the earth to do. You'll learn the real voice of God. And if you feel called to go on to become a certified intuitive melanated life coach, this is where that path begins. There are 2 ways to enter this sacred container: the Destiny track, full investments and coaching experience, or the Divine Exchange track, where internship meets soul work. You'll support podcasting, content creation, or brand development behind the scenes while learning how your unique gifts benefit the collective. Your knowing isn't a flaw. It's the fingerprint of God. This is your invitation, and I hope that you'll answer.
I'm going to end this with saying Discover Your Destiny is preparing to have a new cohort. It starts on March 5th. And so I would like to give you an official invitation to learn more about Discover Your Destiny at dyd25.com. You can also see some testimonial videos from people that have been through Discover Your Destiny in the past and how it has impacted their life and shown up in their lives. You can also, if you would like to directly apply, you can go to tinyurl.com/discover your destiny 2026. tinyurl.com/discover your destiny 2026. There you can fill out the interest form and then we can schedule time to talk through and answer your questions and really get an understanding of what this looks like and sounds like. I will let you know that I am going to be doing a birthday special. Okay. I'm generous, y'all, and real talk, I don't do any of this for money. I really do this because I want us to be free. That really is why I do that. So I want to try to make things accessible as possible, right? So you all already know that there are 2 ways, there are 2 pathways for you to be able to access Discover Your Destiny. But the paying pathway is usually $1,125 for the whole 10-week period, but I am going to have a special for $750 through February 23rd. first. Okay, so if you get signed up for Discover Your Destiny Committed, and you can save your spot for $750, that is a little bit under a $400 savings for Discover Your Destiny. Again, the program is 10 weeks and it is transformational. You are different by the end of it. You have a clear understanding of who you are, how God speaks to you, what you want to do with that, how to operate your boundaries, child, how to implement self-care. We go through a lot. Okay. So I'll be putting out more content about that more on social media and stuff, but I did want to take this moment to tell you all because y'all are dedicated listeners and you're here. Okay. All right. So having said that, I appreciate y'all. I just need you to know that. I appreciate you for being here and being open and receptive to the things that we talk about here in this space. I appreciate you for being a part of the community. Please do share this with someone who you feel may benefit, someone who may need some of these lessons. Okay, please share. Please also comment. All right, please also leave a comment. So today's quote is from Desmond Tutu. My trust in God flows out of the experience of his loving me day in and day out, whether the day is stormy or fair, whether I'm sick or in good health. God comes to me where I live and loves me as I am. I really would like for you all to take an intentional moment to seek out how God wants to show up in your life, how God wants to show up with intention in your everyday things, even in the small things. Where did I leave my keys? Where did I put my ink pen, right? So creating that open exchange and opportunity for God to exist in our everyday existence helps us to really understand how much God really loves us and how much we are walking with God every single day. All right. So having said that, y'all, we are going to be back next week with another episode of The Frolicking Truth. Please, again, leave me a comment. If you're watching during the live premiere, please leave a comment directly after this is over. That helps the algorithm push it out so that other people see it as well, even if that comment is just leaving sunflowers, okay? So again, if you're hanging out with us during the live chat, please do that. If you want to hang out with us during the live chat, you have the opportunity to do that every Saturday as we premiere new episodes. And we're over in the Patreon, y'all. We're over in the archives. So again, if you want to have deeper connection and stay connected as I moonwalk off of some of these spaces, please go over to patreon.com/mindingmybblackassbusiness. All right, y'all. That's it. That's all. Bye.
Thank you for listening to The Frolicking Truth, where joy meets justice and our nervous systems get free. Please be sure to like, rate, and comment. Subscribe to the YouTube page, Minding My Black Ass Business, and follow me on all social platforms. Until next time, bye.